Well, hands up, I can't tell the difference between AI content and real content. I've worked in the industry for about 3 decades. So let's get to Troy Ruhanen, who is the global CEO of Omnicom Advertising Group. Troy, thank you so much for joining us. Can I ask you about this AI disruption? Because we're seeing it in the content creation, the pitching, the placing of the ads. What is the role of an advertising group in future if so much of this is being generated by AI and placed?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's certainly a lot of conversation here at Cannes this week about AI, and a lot of it focuses on efficiency, on is it faster, is it cheaper, where is the work getting generated, et cetera, from. So, yeah, there is an obsession here at Cannes this week, certainly on this topic. But I think the problem with most of it right now is that everyone is focusing on the feat, the process, versus the standard. And the only standard that truly matters is what does the consumer think? How are they feeling about the work? Are they impacted by that? And are they going to move? And I think ultimately the role for a creative agency going forward is to really make sure that we play the role of creating distinct brands. And we know for a fact that distinction truly does matter because we've been tracking the top world 100 brands for the last 25 years. And we see the performance of the top 100 brands versus the S&P. And it clearly demonstrates that there is value to being distinct, to being one that has experiences that are coming off a very well understood platform. We're able to move into new territories, and we see the growth far outpaces that of the S&P over 25 years. So our role is ultimately to make sure that we continue to bring the value of distinction to our clients.
Troy, let's piece that together, these industry trends with what's coming around the AI disruption, because this Interbrand study from one of the businesses is showing that 3.5 trillion was effectively lost from brand value because of some of this short-termism that the industry has been approaching the advertising industry with. How has that manifested itself in the sort of brand marketing campaigns we've seen in recent years versus what we're going to get in future with these personalized AI ads?
Yeah, look, certainly I think the fear for, most clients is that the algorithms will continue to drive a sea of sameness. And what we're seeing is that clients are having to spend a disproportionate amount of more media dollars in order to be able to overcome the dullness of their work, the lack of work that really separates it from those of the distinct brands that I just referred to. So the expense to the industry is that if we continue to go down the path of working with AI, which really does pattern recognition versus pattern breaking, which is what we ultimately deliver, then we're going to see a body of work that is going to continue to look familiar, that is going to be the convention, and is ultimately not going to break through. And that is going to cost our clients a lot more money to spend in order to be able to attract their customer. So the value of a creative organization today is to make sure that we understand what is the convention of the category. And we are using AI to be able to do that, to be able to recognize those things. But we have to then be able to recognize the space that we can own, the white space for growth, and then provide that platform to our clients, and then be able to move that into many more experiences. So if you take one of those brands in particular, like Ferrari, always known for what it was, obviously a great automobile, but it really moved into a different territory with a well understood platform and very distinct assets. It was able to move into luxury, hotels, et cetera, and again, demonstrates its performance to far outstrip the S&P in terms of its performance over 25 years.
Yeah, Troy, and it's great having this conversation with you and Karen, but there's an obvious point here. As the AI gets better and better and the LLMs learn more and more as well, I'm going to make the obvious point that you're kind of alluding to. Why do I need Omnicom? Why do I need WPP? Why do I need any of these agencies if the AI is only going to get better and better, cheaper and cheaper, and actually we can cut out the middleman rather than using AI, the customers can?
Yeah, well, I could say for a fact that there is a real point of advantage in working with us, because if I compare to you right now and I show you, and yes, you may say over time it'll improve, but I show you, if I input one question to ChatGPT right now and I put it into the bots that we've created, which is also fueled by a lifetime of taste by Omnicom, like 35 years of the most amazing work, we get two very different answers. And the value that we bring is understanding what has worked with our clients, the efficacy of that. Where is the new territories? What are the spaces? Where is the innovation coming from? We recognize where the opportunities are far before an AI bot will be able to do that. So again, there is a difference between scraping what the convention, what everyone else is doing, and again, the algorithms will get you to a space. We're there to be able to understand that convention and to be able to break it.
So you're very clearly saying, Troy, that the human input is going to be better, working with AI rather than replaced by AI for the foreseeable future?
Yes. Yeah, look,
Right.
fully embracing AI. I mean, it's been an amazing asset already to us, just being able to, from an inside territory that I think Mark referred to in his conversation with you, to where we're looking obviously for research, how we're able to very quickly do testing with it, how we're able to look for stimulus to, create ideas off that, etc. But it then needs to be taken to a place. It needs to be taken to an original place. And I think it's about human and technology. It's about human and ingenuity coming together, our ingenuity coming with the technology.
Troy, let me ask you about the shifting dynamics for major players in the industry, because your parent company, Omnicom, and Interpublic have been looking at this mega merger. That's the traditional way to grow a big business, is to merge very large assets together. Publicis has done it by creating a digital companion or digital platform called Marcel and growing the business with its digital capabilities to become number one, taking over WPP. But it does feel as though there's a real push for scale in the industry. Why is scale so relevant as we talk about AI disruption?
Well, certainly in the case of Publicis, look, it is a function of about 7 acquisitions that it did in the digital space as well. So it clearly saw an opportunity where it needed to strengthen. I think in the case of what we're doing here, we see the marriage of the two organizations and what they bring to the table. And we create a much stronger platform from which we can use our intelligence, our collective intelligence, our cultural understanding, what we're able to get through production. And yes, obviously we're able to pass, the efficiencies with the technology, the investments, the cash flow that allows us to obviously invest into new spaces where we want to be able to, look for new platforms and technologies to be able to interact with the customer. So for us, scale, yes, it does matter from an investment standpoint and be able to drive the efficiencies for our clients. But also it's about making sure it's 1 + 1 in this case. And within Interpublic and Omnicom, these two assets coming together, it certainly provides a more complete offer than anyone else in the marketplace.
Troy, I want to ask you about some of the big moving pieces internationally, because we've been talking for many weeks about the trade war and the impact that's having on decision making. Now we're talking about Iran and Israel, which is adding to the complexity around the geopolitical environment. What is this doing to client spending? Are they putting some decisions on hold until they get through the noise, or are they pressing ahead with lower spend? What sort of behaviors are you witnessing?
I think, look, we've been through a lot of turbulence over the last bunch of years, from the currency crisis through the last 25 years. So this is not new for us ultimately, and for our clients. And what we're seeing are the clients that continue to invest during these times come out of these situations stronger. So far we haven't seen a major pullback in their clients. I think there is caution clearly, and obviously these events that are happening in the last week or so add further to some caution. But what we're not seeing is a pullback by any means, and certainly the world's strongest brands continue to invest and to be able to look forward to a future which will become clear again. There's no doubt about it. We've all gone through these cycles before, but the best brands understand the patterns that have existed and how they come out of it stronger when they continue to be in the marketplace and telling this story to the consumer.
Troy, thank you very much for joining us today and not tantalising us with shots of the sea from Cannes. A perfect swimming hour, I think, at this point.
Yeah, well, behind the wall there's one, I can promise you. So
well, enjoy.
next time we'll do that.
Enjoy.